I went on my first Virgin Voyages cruise. Let's talk about the parts that I did not like. All right, so first of all, this is my third cruise. I am not a cruise expert aficionado. I'm not like a big cruise lifestyle person, so this is just me as a beginner cruiser saying the things I did or did not like about Virgin. So the only cruise ships I've been on so far is Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, and then now Virgin Voyages. All right, first thing I did not like was the option for entertainment on the boat. I feel like was severely lacking. There was a lot of nights where we felt like there wasn't really anything to do or like huge gaps in between things to do, so we kind of spent a lot of time in our cabin or just like wandering around aimlessly. There was a comedian on the ship, which we are big comedy fans. So we checked him out the first night, I think, or maybe the second night, and his style just wasn't really for us. We didn't really find him that funny. I'm sure other people probably did, but he just wasn't for us. And so that took out comedy for the rest of the trip. There was a bunch of trivia, but we kind of felt like the questions were more for like an older demographic. Like you had to know a lot about like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and as like 90 babies, just wasn't really in our wheelhouse. There was a lot of stuff with the diva on the boat. If you don't know, each Virgin cruise ship has its own diva, and she kind of has like her little minions of hype people that went around the ship to get people hyped. But wasn't really our vibe. It kind of felt like like MTV Spring Break or like kind of like that kind of like get the crowd pumped up kind of vibe, which I don't know. Maybe I was in more of a chill sort of mind space versus the let's get wild on this cruise ship kind of space. So overall, we just kind of felt like there wasn't really that many things to do. We spent a lot of time playing Connect Four because there wasn't a lot of stuff to do. We're not really pool people on cruises because I just kind of feel like people are like marinating in that water all day, which I'm sure like they circulate it and chlorine it, but it's just a little weird to me. So we just, you know, had some periods of boredom on the boat. Second thing, kind of related to the first thing, is that the excursions weren't really that well done or well options, good options. My theory is that since Virgin is one of the newer cruise ships and just has a smaller fleet, that they get maybe like the C plus, B minus excursions, while the bigger boats like the Royals, Norwegians that have bigger fleets, all the Disney ones, they get like the cream of the crop pick out of excursions. And I kind of feel like maybe Virgin gets leftover ones, but that's just a theory. When you are booking the excursions on Virgin's app, like there's no place for people to leave reviews, so you're really going into it not knowing what the consensus is about the excursions. We were able to find a lot of like places on Reddit or just through Google about people giving reviews about some excursions. But I think it's a little sketchy that they don't have reviews. Like most booking places have reviews for you to see if you want to book that excursion or not. Out of the five excursions we did, I would say two were like pretty excellent, like, above average, um, like maybe B plus, A minus level excursions. One was just okay, and two were like, okay, we lost money on those excursions. I definitely know now that there are other ways to book excursions. Apparently, Costco has a way. But I kind of feel like the whole benefit of a cruise is just it being this all in one, all inclusive package that's like doesn't require a lot of planning, running all over Google, like all that kind of stuff is like supposed to be easy peasy sort of thing. All right, the final thing that I did not like about the cruise was this one's a little weird. I don't know if this is kind of a similar experience for a lot of cruise ships, but the first night we were on the boat, we were blown away by the quality of the food, especially in their fine dining location. But I would say by the end of the trip, the last few days, the quality was dramatically lower than when we first got on the cruise ship. Like I said, I don't cruise that much, so I don't know if this is common. I don't know if like the boat like runs out of ingredients or stuff like that, and it's just difficult to keep the same quality up, especially for like the longer cruises. Ours was a 7-day cruise, but we were able to eat at like some of their fine restaurants 2 times, once at the beginning of the trip and once at the end of the trip. And the difference between the beginning and the end was just dramatically different. So we're like, the first night we ate on the boat, it almost felt like, like almost like a Michelin star quality experience. It was so good. So it was just a little disappointing by the end of the trip to be just like slightly disappointed by the quality of the food. So those are the 3 things. Let me know if there's anything that you agree with or disagree with. I do have things that I loved about Virgin Voyages. So if you want to hear those, you got to tune in for the next video. It's not a starry sky, my baby told